Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I will be showing you me inspecting the hives. Now it's been really good weather for the last couple of days and it's set to be good weather for a long time into the future. And as you can see, the bees are really busy, and you might be able to see they're bringing back pollen, which is basically protein, and they collect that from the flowers and they bring that back to the hive and they feed that to their brood, which is their young. And then they grow, and obviously protein is needed for building tissue and muscles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through this hive and I'm going to show you how to inspect a hive for beginners, and I'm just going to show a bit of what I'm up to. So what we do is we take off the lid first, like so. Very easy. We just lay that to the side. Now I've made my hive stand so I have a little space to put the lid, or you can put the lid on the floor, it's up to you. Right now they've actually got feed on, and that is syrup, and that's to help stimulate the growth in the brood box. So we'll keep inspecting. So this here is an eek, and this is just because the feeder was slightly too big to fit in the roof cavity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the entire crown board and the eek together. So this grey part here is the crown board, and I think of it as an inner cover. Oh yeah, I need a hive tool because bees actually stick together all the components of the hive, and this, I think of it as a mini crowbar. So we just stick it in and we just ease it out. Might have to do the other side as well. Now, the key to inspecting a beehive is slow, gentle movements. As you can see, the bees are across about 80% of the frames. They look like they're doing really well, but the key is, you know, if you get a little bit stressed, take a step back, let the bees calm themselves down before you go in and pull out more frames. So I always like to give them a minute or so, just so they can calm down a bit. Now, as you can see, this beehive is basically completely full, so I will be doing a couple of splits on this hive in the next week or so, and that should be good as well. So what we do is, this has 12 frames in this box, and we start at the edge. We don't start in the middle. We just take out the edge frame and then we work our way across, and we put the frames back in the exact order we took them out. So what we do is we pull it out with our mini crowbar, and we do both sides. As you can see, there's a few around my head, but that's just because it's the morning and they're not used to being disturbed. So then what we do is we literally just pull it out very gently. Now the end frames often have nothing on them. So as you can see, we've got a little bit of honey. Mainly it's empty comb, and we've got a little bit of nectar on the other side. And what I do with this frame is I check to see if the queen is there first, and I can't see the queen. So what I do is I put the frame aside. Now if you had seen the queen, you wouldn't have want to put the frame to the side, because if she fell off onto the floor, you'll probably never find her. So that's why you check the first frame for the queen. Don't want to get them angry, we just calmly pull out the frames, and you have to pull them out so they don't hit the side of the box, because sometimes the queen can be on the side of the box, and if you wham the frame into them, you can accidentally hit her off. So what we've got here is we've got honey and we've got nectar. Now honey is the capped stuff, so if I was to like push this, honey would come out, but I don't know if you can see in the light the glint of the nectar, which is in this area of the hive. So bees typically put the honey on the outside frames, so it's quite common to find honey on the outside 2 or 3 frames, and then to find brood and pollen in the frames further in. So we just want to be super careful, just taking our time, especially if you've only got 1 or 2 hives. You don't need to rush. So what we've got here is we've got some brood. Now brood is this brown biscuit-like cappings, and we've got some honey on the edge. So I'm always checking for the queen. Now there are different types of brood, so what we've got here is worker brood in this section, and we've got drone brood is this slightly bumpy brood here. And we actually have a drone, where was it? I saw a drone somewhere. Give me one sec. Oh yeah, there's a drone right here as well. So that drone is a male bee and all the other ones are female. The queen is also female as well. So when we replace the frames, we just put them back nice and carefully. As you can see, these bees are really busy. I don't know if you can see the entrance, they are completely going crazy today. And if bees are on the end of the frame, you can use a smoker, but I don't have a smoker with me today, so you can just push them gently out the way. Now this frame here, I checkerboarded, and that's where you rearrange the frames in the hive. And this frame here has eggs in it. So it's got eggs in the bottom of the cells, and what we mean by cells is each individual hole, if you like, and those have eggs. It's very hard to pick up on camera, but there are eggs in the bottom of the cells. It's sort of difficult to see. So we check for the queen. What we're always doing is we're checking for the queen as we go through. Now there's no queen on that frame that I can see, so I can put that back nice and gently. You see the bees got a little bit riled there, so I took a step back and I let them calm down a little bit. So we are about a third of the way through, and you can see when I calmed down and didn't keep pushing them, they sort of go back to the entrance and calm down a bit. So what we do is we just gently maneuver my finger, or bee on my hand, I can just flick them off. You just push bees gently out the way. Now this frame is also full of eggs because I also checkerboarded this one. We've got some eggs in there and lots of bees on the frame. So that's good to see as well. We just gently replace it. You can see the bees often calm down the longer you're here because they get used to the fact that you're just slowly working through. They can get angrier though if you move around too fast. So you see my movements are so gentle. And we just twist it round to look at the other side. Okay, this is quite an interesting frame. So what's happened here, just remove these bees. What's happened is we've got brood in the centre and they haven't quite drawn it out to the corner, but when they run out of space they definitely will. You've got some pollen here, which is sort of an orangey ring. Let me adjust the focus so I can get a close up. What we've got here is pollen. As you can see, it's sort of orangey in the bottom of the cells, and you've got worker brood here, and we've got a bit of honey on the outside here as well, and then we haven't got much different on the other side, all of the same really. So what we do is we replace this frame back, nice and slow as I said before. Now the important thing to remember is brood is never at its best at this time of the year. So it is March the 23rd I believe. But brood generally isn't at its best pattern at this point, so I'm not too worried if it's a bit empty or a bit less full than it will be in the summer. So what I find useful as well is if you tilt the frame towards the direction of the light, then you can see what's at the bottom of the frame. So this frame has eggs and pollen. and that's good because we like to see eggs because it means the queen is laying. So if you see eggs, it means that the queen has been there in the last 3 days, which means that supposedly you don't actually have to see the queen because you know she's been there very recently. I always like to see the queen though, but you don't actually have to. And this frame has eggs. So currently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames of brood. Not all of them are full, so I'll say we have 4. 4 full frames of brood, probably another 2 or 3 here as well. Okay, this is an interesting frame. Got a lot going on here. Wow, look at that pollen. I love seeing pollen. And we found the queen, okay. So the queen, if you can see her, she is here. She's got a green dot on her thorax, which is the middle section of her body. I don't know if you could see her. She is very big and quite obvious. I'll try and get a close-up for you here as well. So that is the queen bee. She's doing really well, laying all the eggs, going around. She always has a guard of bees around her, a court of bees, and they look after her and her every need. So you notice I'm holding it above the hive now, just in case she falls off, she's going to fall back into the hive. Now we've also got a lot of pollen on this frame, and we've got a lot of brood, which is nice to see as well. Hatching brood or emerging brood. You can see several of the bees are brand new. So the fluffy bees, like this one here next to the queen and this one, they've only just hatched out. We've got bees with pollen as well, like this one here and these two here as well. So what I like to do on the frame with the queen is I always like to put the queen back on the side I'm not going to inspect again. So this queen, I always make sure she's sort of in the middle of the frame for a start. She's on the edge now, so I'll wait for her to go into the middle. And sometimes she's a bit annoying and lingers around the edge for a while, but eventually she'll move back to the centre. Then I'll be able to put the frame back. Now I don't really need to inspect anymore because they've got a good amount of brood and you don't always need to keep inspecting. Sometimes a few frames is enough to tell you what's going on. This queen is really beautiful though, she's very orange. She's from BS Honeybees. I do like their queens. And as you can see, the temperament of these bees, a couple around my head, but they are really calm. And she looks beautiful as well. She looks really healthy too. I really like a good looking queen. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place the frame ever so slowly back in the exact position it was. Now if you change around the position, it means the comb won't be equal, so you could crush the queen if you put the frame back. So whenever I'm checkerboarding, which is moving frames around, I always make sure that when I put the queen back, she's put back against a frame that's quite shallow comb, which means she can't be squished at all. So what I'm going to do, this one's a little bit stuck, so I'm just going to gently pull it apart with my hive tool. Oh wow, that is a frame of pollen. Look at that. There's a mega frame of pollen. I don't know if you can see. Beautiful, beautiful colours. They're on a mega pollen flow here. Pollen flow, for want of a better word. But look at all that pollen. I would hazard a guess that that's dandelion, mainly, I would say. But they look really good. And that is a lot of pollen. So because I know the queen was on this frame, I'm just going to have a look down this side to make sure that when I put down this one, she's not on that side, to make sure I don't crush her. I can't see her, so I think I'm safe to put it back in. And as you can see, we slowly put it back. Now, as you can see, we've got a gap here. So what we do is we stick our hive tool in this end. You can use 2 hive tools, but I don't need to. I just use my finger for the other one. And we push the frames back into the other frames, but we check there aren't any bees between the other frames when we push them back together. So as you can see, we've pushed it back together. Now it's important not to forget the frame we took out, because I've often shut the hive all the way back up and I've realised, oh, there's a frame sat outside. So we have to put this one back gently as well. And you can see it fits in really snug, it's not crushing any bees. And that's in very nicely too. Now we need to put our crown board and our feeder back on. We always check for the queen on the top bars to make sure we don't crush her. And then put this back on very carefully. And the reason I can't twist this round, because it has a rebate, as you can see, which means I can't twist it round to put it back on like a traditional wooden hive, but I don't really need to. I think that's good enough. And they're going through their feed. I might give them a bit more feed, just a splash more, because I want them to draw out the bottom of those frames, and feeding them helps them draw it out. Now the important thing at this time of the year is not to overfeed them, because otherwise you can clog up the brood nest with syrup and they can't, the queen doesn't have enough space to lay and expand. So I'm going to put in about half a litre of syrup, which is a very small amount. They'll drink that all today, and then maybe 3 days from now I'll put another half a litre, and it just gives them a slow, steady amount of food, which substitutes for nectar coming into the hive, and they think, right, the weather's good, even though it is good, the syrup's coming in, we're doing really well, let's expand really fast. So I've got some syrup in this drum here, and I made this up myself just with sugar and some water. I didn't measure it, I just estimated. Now, you definitely don't need to buy syrup, and I don't advise anyone to buy ready-made syrup this earlier in the year, whereas invert syrup is different. Invert is a thicker syrup, and I would advise you to buy that later in the year, just because I've had problems with my own syrup later in the year. But my syrup is really good for anywhere up to sort of July, but later July and August, August rather and September, you want to be feeding invert syrup, which is really good. So what we do is we just pour a little bit in. That's about half a litre, do a splash more. Shut that up. Put the roof back on. And we're done. I hope you liked that video. As you can see, the bees are really busy. They're doing really well. That was just a quick guide on how to inspect a beehive, what to look for early in the year, and the first inspection that I've done really properly. So thanks for watching the video. If you liked it, please hit the subscribe bell. Thanks for watching the video. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.